What keeps you up at night? A 16-year-old is flirting my husband in front of me in a ridiculously desperate way, and I don't know if I should find it funny every time it happens or if I should slap her, or what to do about that. It's awkward, annoying, makes him feel uncomfortable but kind of funny too. That perfect comeback I could have used in an Argent several years ago. Reddit. Regrets about the past and doubts about the future. Every little, insignificant mistake I have ever made, specifically those from 5 years ago. The number of different ways there are to lock a bathroom stall door. It's baffling. I cannot wrap my mind around it. Some locks are a sliding bar. Others are a sliding pin. Others rotate like a wheel cut in half. Still others have just a latch, like a bent nail that you put in a hole. Some you twist like a regular lock. And these are just a few of the broad categories. Each of the categories varies infinitely. For instance, does the latch just fit behind the stall wall to hold the door in place? Does it go into a special receiving groove? Sometimes it goes into the stall wall itself. It's never ending. Every time I think I've seen all possible ways to lock a stall door, and don't even get me started on porta-potties, I happen upon another one when I visit some gas station. Who designs all of these? Why weren't they happy with the designs that already existed? Is it really that lucrative of a market that every engineer needs to get in on this racket? I don't know, man, but it keeps me up at night. Insomnia. Mind-blowing, rough, passionate sex. I'm happy for them, I just wish my neighbors would fuck a bit earlier. PTSD. That paper that determines whether I pass my class or not. Suffocating anxiety. My cat. My back hurts. My wife likes to sleep in a hot room on a hard mattress, with light pouring through the window and a restless cat. And she snores. This is why we have 2 bedrooms. Knowing the sooner I fall asleep, the sooner I wake up and go to work in the morning. I have been followed by 13 people on Reddit. I don't like being followed. I don't know what they want, but I believe they are planning to steal my pineapples. The thought of losing my pineapples to those 13 people keeps me up all night. Edit. TF. I have 53 followers now. 53 people who wanna steal my pineapples. People are really mean. Stop following me, I don't wanna share my pineapples. You guys will never get my pineapples. Edit 2, 85 followers now. I regret talking about my pineapples on Reddit. I worked so hard to grow those pineapples and you guys are trying to steal them. Those are my pineapples, it's only for me, it's mine. My precious. Stop following me or I'll beat all of you with my pineapples. I wasted my cake day. That some people may not be conscious and we have no way of knowing. Like if you think about it, the brain is just a biological computer, right? So some people could literally just be on autopilot, like they have normal lives and families and jobs and stuff, but that's just their brain learning and reacting to the environment like an AI would, with no consciousness behind them like you and I. So basically some people could just be ace and some people are ace that have become self-aware, and we have no way of knowing. Maybe this explains how some people seem selfish and have no emotion. FBI busts down door. Thoughts? Visions of me beating the shit out of people that fuck with me. When I was 7 I was sexually abused by my aunt. When I was 16 and kicked out by my parents after a messy divorce, I witnessed a kid, around my age, die in a drive-by shooting on my way to work. I still see these things in my nightmares every night, and despite going to therapy briefly as well as rehab for my alcoholism, these things still kill me a little every day. So that's what keeps me up at night. Feels good to share it. My next door neighbor has a really loud outflow for his sump pump. Heavy rains make it sound like a waterfall right outside my window as it drains out into a hand-dug channel to the sewers in the back of our property. My boyfriend and I are preparing to move to South Dakota soon. Our house sold and we are preparing to move in with our friends until he gets a job in Sioux Falls. I'm up at night because I've lived here in Oregon my entire life and I'm so excited about our future with his daughters there. Change is scary, but it's not brave if you're not scared. I want a life with him, and for the first time in my life being awake is as good as being in my dreams. I'm living them with the love of my life. The possibility that I'm gonna end up completely alone in this world. Crippling self-hatred. Negative thoughts and anxiety. My nightmares. Depression mostly. Crippling depression. Thinking about all the stickers in the world that are left unstuck. Reddit. The police didn't even bother to interview my rapist or do any evidence gathering, and then closed the case. The cop said he couldn't articulate the crime, so he didn't interview the rapist when he got a lawyer. Shitty people that commit crimes are everywhere, but the police should help you when you go to them. It honestly is worse than the rape, and I wish I hadn't reported it and just handled it myself with some bleach and tarps. Fuck police. About every 4 hours I must get up and pee, then drink some water, then wait 4 hours and get up and pee. There's this old Queen Anne 5,000 square foot house that went up for sale a bit ago that didn't sell. It needed at minimum $100,000 in work, if not more. I'm an artistic, handy DIYer with real experience on old homes, and even renovated one myself from the studs to finishing, wiring, gas, plumbing, etc. I can't get the house out of my head and the blank slate opportunity to make that place a truly gorgeous house. I stay up envisioning what the end result would look like and how I would make that happen. I can't buy it because I have another complete reno I need to finish already, plus I just wouldn't have enough time to do it right. Too much caffeine, usually. As I've gotten older, if I have coffee much past 3 to 4 in the afternoon, I have an absolutely horrendous time getting to and staying asleep at night. The fact that Reston virus exists. Seriously, Google it. It's Ebola. That is airborne. It just hasn't spilled over into humans yet. Me daydreaming and hoping tomorrow will get better. I feel numb and empty a lot lately, but at night I sort of fantasize a better future for myself where I feel free, confident, and at peace. Since 2019 started, I fuck up something at work almost daily, lay in bed with anxiety on whether it will be bad, fixable, or who will yell at me. Not incompetent BTW, but I was stuffed into a field that's not my expertise at all and told to make it work due to low manning, and barely any funding to make the job happen. It's weird. Usually the beeping from my carbon monoxide detector annoys the shit out of me, but after an hour or so I sleep like a baby. Sometimes for a few weeks straight. Coffee. Hunger. r/sleep. The fear that someone might break into my house, kidnap me and bury me alive, just for the fuck of it. Let's be real, Reddit is the main reason I go to sleep 3 hours later than I'd hoped. The thought of waking up. I haven't dreamt in years. When I finally fall asleep, it's like everything shuts off. It's dark, it's quiet, it's peaceful. When I wake up, there is a feeling of disappointment, a longing to return to my off mode. Worry about my kids and broken family relationships. My migraines. My uncle's warm breath. Sometimes when I am peacefully trying to sleep I fall into somewhat of a sleep, but then this random ass jump scare out of my subconscious mind is like, you want to sleep? I don't care if you want to, fuck you, so now I'm just going to scare the shit out of you. It also happens when I think of refrigerators with no meat in it. Also sometimes I think of times I smoked weed and it gives me sleep paralysis. My debt. Porn. Has the cancer metastasized to my bones, or is it just in my breast and lymph nodes? Is my kid gonna have a mom for long enough to grow up well? Will my husband be okay? How do I love them as well and as much as I can while I'm fighting what very well could be metastatic cancer? I'm probably fucked. I have to take care of my people. The hospital bill from my rape kit. I always make the mistake of opening up a new game of Civilization. Cocaine. The cringiest moments of my life. Cannabis helps. My life. Allergies and my dog. My phone. Your mom BAY. Extreme anxiety about my future, that and Bohack horseman. Climate change. My iPhone I used to use Reddit. My bed, it keeps me up quite well. The floor would be uncomfortable. Being awake. The never-ending possibility that I'll suddenly and unexpectedly start having liquid fire spewing out of my ass, like that one time it actually happened at my grandparents' 50th anniversary party. Had to throw away my underwear, and I'm almost positive anyone who came within 2 feet of me could smell the sewage plant of a pair of pants I was wearing. The constant fear of it happening again has plagued my mind for 10 years. Knowing someone, somewhere just tried to cook chicken and it came out bloody raw. The thought of someone looking into my window and thinking demons are gonna grab my feet. And spiders are everywhere. I'm still dealing with my breakup, so I guess that. Just knowing I wasn't good enough for someone. My PhD program and the accompanying imposter syndrome. Resentment that I have to spend so much of my life asleep. Watching porn, finishing homework. My abject refusal to go to bed when I am tired rather than dicking around on my phone for just another 10,000 minutes. Work is gonna feel magical tomorrow. A never-ending reel of thoughts that jump around to everything from the fact that I was 10 minutes late feeding my dogs to the time when I was 10ish and called my teacher mom. Dead. Daughters type 1. Diagnosed 3 YRS ago. I never sleep more than 2 HRS straight. Existential dread of rubber ducks. That Pluto and Goofy are both dogs, but one is humanoid but one is just a regular dog. Reddit. I'm a middle school teacher in a pretty rough part of town. Almost all of my students have very difficult home lives. I worry about them quite a bit and am relieved to see them at school safe each day. My husband snoring. Coffee. Fucking Amber Alerts. School. I don't need to elaborate. Your mom. Nicotine. my parent fighting, the LSAT, Adderall, running out of Ambien, working third shift, LOL, thinking about what happens after we die. But I stop thinking so that I do not go insane. Reddit. Climate change. At the end of this year we'll have 10 years to have our emissions as a planet, and no major governments are doing even nearly enough. Or almost anything, for that matter. If we don't succeed in stopping the trend, there is a high likelihood of societal collapse that we can hardly imagine except in fiction. And worse, at any point we could trip a feedback loop that could doom us no matter what we do. Now want to do something about it? https://www.sunrisemovement.org https://rebellion.earth https://www.fridaysforfuture.org My fat wife gets gas easily. My broken llama that is flickering, no matter what. The dog. When I think it keeps me up. Gravity. Poop. Me knowing I'll fail being an efficient adult and how my family will disgrace me. Probably all the coffee I drank that day. He'll do the same thing again tomorrow. Me calling my teacher mom in 5th grade. My cat walking all over me. Chronic insomnia to the point where I'm legitimately terrified of sleeping. I guess insomnia? I can lay in bed doing nothing for hours, next night I'll switch it up and listen to music, next night I'll read a book, next day I'll be active, nothing seems to work, so I just try and lay in bed with some music on and hope I fall asleep before 3 a.m. My friends making it before me. I have a couple friends already into their professions, one doing what I want to do. And me not being there yet keeps me up late into the night. My love, what turns you on? Light, Reddit, noise, and extreme temperatures. That shadow in the corner of my room. Car alarms. Some argument I had 5 years ago that I lost. Recently had a rather strange and terrifying sleep paralysis experience. So yeah, being addicted to the dopamine release I get from scrolling on my phone. The lights. I just drank 2L of cola, it's 2 a.m.c. I don't normally do this, but I thought it would be a good idea. If I'm up, it's drugs. Night shifts. The thought of my inevitable death. SCPs. I've read too many. Knowing that eventually you'll die and restart and forget everything, and people you care will too. Just deep dark thoughts. The India-Pakistan border. The homework I haven't done. My cat climbing onto my chest to check if I am still alive, and since I am still alive, I might as well put more snacks in her bowl. Usually my neighbors. But most nights I sleep well. We are internationally being watched by the government, more specifically the Five Eyes, which can take any type of data from anything that has a chip in it, meaning that we have no real security anymore. Soon, if not already, the governments will be able to control us with the info they have. What concerns me the most is that no one is talking about it, and instead choose to think about their own selfish needs, creating an online system where the main focus is self-validation. Not knowing whether or not my wife loves me and wants to continue our marriage. That keeps me up most nights and helped me lose 11 pounds in 21 days. I stay up late enough so I am tired enough to fall asleep lol. Usually too much canine at the wrong time of day. Constant feeling of no self-worth. And methamphetamine. My dog's farts. Trump. Looking at Reddit. The responsibility I have to my employees, making payroll etc. I don't know. Anxiety. These fucking cats. It's the only time I'm able to have to myself and I don't have any pressing stuff in the morning for me to wake up. Also weed keeps me up, even indica. Loneliness, offbeat sleep schedule and a lot of wondering on what if scenarios. Non-diagnosed insomnia, depression, and sometimes the urge to pee. Persistent, rock-hard boners. Remembering that the mattress I'm sleeping on was about 4 years ago used by my great-grandmother. It starts a domino effect that ends with me having an existential crisis. My mind. I cannot sleep if I'm sober. Nothing is real, it's all in my head but it keeps me up. The boogeyman. My trypophobia. Thoughts of dying. Me being able to think. Sometimes I go into an existential fit of sorts. I can't think of anything other than death and being unable to comprehend not being alive, which triggers some anxiety, rendering it nearly impossible for me to sleep. I normally have to do something to distract me. I probably have one around once a fortnight and I can only remember one time I managed to sleep through it without distracting myself. Songs that are stuck in my head, overthinking previous interactions, the occasional intrusive thought, girls I like that would probably never go on a date with me. You know, the usual. I don't know why but I wake up working about my future health. My kitten purring like a V8 Ford at 2 am. Knowing someone, somewhere just tried to cook chicken and it came out bloody raw. Phone. Period cramps. Woke up at 3 am with pretty bad pain at the bend of both arms. Reason, the day before yesterday I did weights for the first time in ages. Now I imagine Reddit will keep me awake for a couple hours. Typically my boss. Insomnia and a hyperactive mind. Always thinking, never ending. Indigestion. Hong Kong. These posts. My babysitter keeps clapping her hands. Cocaine. Loud noises, bright lights, and a vivid recollection of every moment from my past. Anxiety about, well, anything and everything. Climate change. The threat of inevitable death. Regrets. Shamrock beating John Brown on the White Rapper show years ago. Insomnia. This week. Dry socket from a tooth extraction. Long term. The existential shame that comes from replaying every single social faux pas I have ever committed in my entire life, IMAX style, on repeat at 3 am for no apparent reason other than my brain hates me. School. My poor self-esteem issues and obsessing over all of my flaws. The silence. Not me but my wife. I keep her up at night when I'm on my computer. Going through storms in life. This sounds extremely stupid, but spontaneous combustion. Cocaine. The fact that I'm getting older day by day without accomplishing anything important by today's standards. Thinking about my crappy work. My cat not shutting the fuck up. The loss of my lifelong friend who him and I argued our last and split ways. I miss him, and I cried last night thinking about them. The fact that I have school tomorrow, which makes me want to stay up all night and just scream. My consciousness. Any gore video. Ghost videos are not that scary. But watching people die is the scariest shit ever, emo. If I'm going to find a job soon or not. Spite Kradbenefut Labrons jams. Reading Reddit. Mosquitoes. Shame shivers. Testosterone. The damn oil well they are drilling a few blocks away. My mind that overthinks every little thing imaginable. The never-ending clock that is life that doesn't end until we die. Everything. Man. Calculus. Acid reflux, feels like my throat is made of fire every night. Why are we here? My newborn. You. Discord server not shutting up. I just moved to SoCal almost 3 weeks ago and I still don't have a job. Have a bunch of management experience but still crickets. Gonna keep hunting though. Can't give up. The dumb things I've done in kinder, 5th. The light coming from the window. My crippling social anxiety. My secrets. The realization that I'm mortal, not getting any younger and marching forward towards my imminent death. That and a lil tinnitus, but mostly the death thing. Reddit. Loneliness. This tall dark figure standing in the corner. How I got friend-zoned by my crush. My job. I have to try to attempt to get all thoughts of work out of my mind. I usually revert to video games and just pretend I'm living the best parts of them. Sometimes it works. Houston sports teams. Oh God. And hashtag X200B. In 6th grade the teacher was taking roll call and I was busy looking for a book in my backpack, and I was caught off guard when the teacher said my name and freaked out and said howdy. I said howdy. I realized what I said and the teacher just stopped, looked at me in silence for a couple of seconds, then continued on taking attendance. My inability to take an extended break from glowing screens, which causes self-induced insomnia. Crippling self-doubt. Stress and anxiety mostly. My crippling need for a downer. A fucking rat. Reddit. The certainty that my existence will cease. Electronics and, maybe, insomnia. The thought that one day, everyone will die and no matter how successful you've been in life, it won't matter in a couple decades or so. Where does your consciousness go after you die anyways? My life choices. That keeps me up as well. My neighbor's barking ass fucking dog at the moment. 4 miles outside of city limits, in bumfuck Kentucky, and Carol. Real name strangely, needs another rescue dog. Who killed John Benet Ramsey? Right now tinnitus. Sometimes the ringing is a bit much, especially if I have head congestion and it is that time of year. La la la. All the dumb shit. An embarrassing thing I said while I was in 6th grade. My goddamn upstairs neighbors. When I'm mad. Can't sleep when I'm mad. Not being able to sleep. There's a cricket in the house and we don't know where. 3 nights now. I work night shift. It is a part of my job. That and concentrated doses of caffeine and hydrocortisone. Reddit. Insomnia. Recently, all the uncertainty with DACA. Not much relaxation when you're in legal limbo.